Transit Sports TV back again. Chelsea won, Arsenal won at Stamford Bridge, and this one, the build up to it was high because of the stakes at the top of the table. Arsenal was going to go 9 points ahead of Chelsea if they had won today, and Chelsea were going to close the gap to 3 points if Chelsea won. So you always knew that it was going to be a very interesting and intriguing match, and as well, most importantly, it's going to be a very tactical game because these two teams, are students of Pep Guardiola School of Management, and Mosquera has shown fluidity in terms of his approach to games so far this season. I've criticized him, Chelsea, a little bit, the way they assembled their squad, but Mosquera, I think what he has done is not really develop a system of play, but at the same time, he has approached each game in isolation and developed a tactics to negate or win games, and it's worked for Chelsea so far this season. And today that was put to test. Arsenal, on the other hand, has done pretty well navigating the league and the Champions League with a lot of injuries. They have built chemistry. They are winning games consistently. In fact, the most consistent team in EPL. Maybe behind Bayern Munich in Europe as well. So you knew that it was going to be a very interesting game, and it was. But credit to Chelsea, I will say they edged it a little bit tactically, and maybe not tactically, but the way they approached the game. They knew on the balance of play, Arsenal are a better team because they've been together longer and they've developed a way of playing. So Chelsea knew that the only way to get something out of this game was to obstruct the flow of Arsenal, and that was very evident right from the first minute of the game today. And Cucurella made that tackle on Saka, and that set the tone for the rest of the game. Tactically speaking, these two teams went more with long balls. They boycotted the midfield, and the reason was, from Arsenal perspective, obviously, Saliba was missing. Was a surprise miss in the lineup as the lineups came up this morning. They said he had a knock in training yesterday. So Mosquera and Hincapie, first of all, they don't even have any experience together as centre half for Arsenal. So that in its own is already a discount for Arsenal. Then both of them, especially Mosquera, who was playing on the right side, which is where Arsenal most times progresses the ball from the back from. It's not anywhere close to what Saliba is in terms of being composed on the ball. So it was always going to be difficult for Arsenal to build up from behind, which meant that Arsenal had to go long majority. In fact, for the first 25 minutes, that was what I don't think that Villarreal made any short pass. And another reason behind that, I would suspect, is because Chelsea can press high. For the fact these two players don't have chemistry, Arsenal didn't want to invite Chelsea deep to press them high. So it became a mouse and cat kind of stuff. And Chelsea, on the other hand, also knew that Arsenal are not a team that you're going to draw into your own half that much. Once Arsenal stepped up, that's going to be a difficult game for Chelsea. So it was back and forth, long balls all the way, which is how Arsenal dislodged Bayern Munich. So Chelsea employed a same tactic, and it became physical. But then on the other, the way where Chelsea edged it was they were a little bit more on the front foot, and they also showed a little bit more physical desire as the game went on. And this is how it turned out. But of course, when there's a lot of physical battle in a game like this, you always expect cards. And we saw, I think Arsenal had 5 yellow cards in the first half. Chelsea did as well. It was a high number, and the conversation or the debate between Caicedo and Declan Rice, a lot of people felt that it was going to be settled today, and I think that got the best of Caicedo today. He was too I don't know how I'm going to put it now. Emotionally, I think he was a little bit over the top, and unfortunately, that tackle on Merino sent him off, understandably, and rightly so. Whether you're a Chelsea fan or an Arsenal fan, you agree with the fact that one was a red card. And that set a different tone for the game as well. Arsenal managed to finish the first half, and I expected Arteta to do some tactical changes to take advantage of the one-man shot of Chelsea. But unfortunately, again, in a very intriguing fashion, first action in the game, there was a set piece. Chelsea launches into the Arsenal half, get a corner kick, boom, Chelsea scores, and the game turns on its head. And it was now for Arsenal to chase and find a way to get back. And they have done this so many times this season. I was watching that game. Though it wasn't clear, but I always felt that Arsenal was going to score. The point was going to be with Chelsea score another one, or with Arsenal be able to get the second one to win the game. And the game went that way. Arsenal now, because of the one man down, Chelsea had to drop deep and played on a counter. Garnacho came in, he did a few things. But most importantly, a few Arsenal players were not at it today. Eberechi, for me, didn't play up to his standard. He struggled with the physical contest today. But I think one of the reasons why it was difficult for him as well, because of the long balls, there was no midfield existent in this game all through the first half. So being that kind of player, he couldn't even see the ball. And when it was time for him to win his duels, he found it very difficult. Saka had a very fantastic game today, though in the second half, his final balls were very bad. I think from Arsenal perspective, my man of the match will be Mikel Merino. Again, he bailed Arsenal out, and not just the goal he scored in the midfield, he was really. Unfortunately for Arsenal, he got a very unfortunate yellow card. I don't think that was a yellow card. It was too early in the game. And I think that is where Anthony Taylor got it wrong today. Once he gave Zubimendi that yellow card, he had to, because the game was already physical. So once Zubimendi got that yellow card, Anthony Taylor had to be consistent, and that's why we had so many yellow cards on the game. And eventually, Caicedo got his red card. So, yeah, sometimes these referees, they cause their own problem. Initially, he was letting the tackles flow, but all of a sudden, he gave the wrong person a yellow card, and from there, it became a referee's game. I also didn't think that between Mosquera and Hincapie, you would say it was okay for them to keep Chelsea at bay or consider just one goal, but they were chaotic. It was a lot of chaos in that Arsenal defense today. Sometimes they were even switching sides, But kudos to them. They came through this one. Arsenal did not lose. They go again. So, yeah, for me, it was a tactical battle. Maresca deserves more respect that he's been getting. And, Arsenal, from Arsenal perspective, they go again. And think Chelsea has proved me wrong this season. And they probably, if they continue like this, they're going to be, in this battle as the seasons progress. So the big question now is, I will ask you out there, who do you think will be happier with the 1 point today? And again, who do you think edged it out on this game? Who do you see had a better game in the match? Let me know in the comment section, and I will see you again next time. Ciao.